Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Drawn to Obscurity, the show where I, Jeeves, your dashing host, take a look at some of the lesser-known and more questionable side of animated films. Cats! Cats. They're just the cutest things, aren't they? The way they come up and cuddle you, the way they roll around on the ground on their backs, those cute little cult rituals they hold, the way their heads just melt away, and Jesus Christ, what is this? Oh! Felidae. Felidae, ladies and gentlemen. Felidae is a 1994 animated film that was originally made and released in Germany, and at the time was the only German animated film to have a budget as high as it did, apparently costing over 10 million marks. Or German dollars, if you like. Since its release, the movie has pretty much had mixed reviews from anyone who's seen it, but has overall gained somewhat of a cult following over the years. Why? Well, let's find out. So first off, we get the opening credits with the film's main theme, Felidae, by Boy George. Huh. Song's actually good. The film then opens with a card carrying our main feline character, Francis, dubbed in this version by Carrie Eels, who you may remember as Robin Hood from Men in Tights, and Wesley from The Princess Bride? Wow, what's he doing playing a cat? Well, thanks anyway, IMDb. Anyway, we're told that Francis and his owner Gus are just arriving at their new home due to the fact that old Gus needs a change of scenery whenever he gets a writer's block, which is the first and last important thing you'll hear about the guy, because in this world, humans are, Francis?
Can opener.
While his delightfully dim-witted can opener is moving things in the house, Francis takes this time to explore his new surroundings when he finds another, rather stoic cat named Bluebeard, played by Michael Madsen, who you may know from Reservoir Dogs, appearing to look off into the distance. Francis looks in the same direction and finds that one of the neighborhood cats is not only dead, but appears to have been murdered.
And he's the fourth in the last month.
Do you mean it's the fourth dead body?
I guess you're new on the block. You taking over that shit heap in there? Interesting place. I go in there for a piss occasionally.
So, clearly not fazed by this, Bluebeard leaves the scene, but not before making some friendly small talk.
Hey, little smartass. What do they call you?
Francis.
Francis.
Yeah, Francis, what a dumbass name. Get a real name like Bluebeard here. So after Francis takes the time to scope out the neighborhood, a scene which we never see, he gets back home later that night and is disappointed to know that Gus's friend Archie, who we'll never see, is visiting. So, naturally not wanting to hear Sugar Sugar for the next couple of hours, Francis decides to lay upstairs. Afterwards, Gus finds Francis and brings him a stereo claiming that he has a tape of his favorite songs, which he is somehow very right about. Francis quickly drifts off to sleep and has an extremely vivid dream showing a man bestowing a gift to him, only for him to be chained up moments later. The whole sequence seems a bit too specific, and overall it's very, very strange. Though not as strange as the fact that this dream sequence is in color. I like a little realism in my cat dreams, thank you very much. Obviously, scared the fuck out of his mind, Francis quickly wakes up as Bluebeard enters the house.
Did you come back here to take a leak? Forget it. You don't piss in here anymore. I live here now and I have my standards.
Jesus. Well, you're very passive-aggressive, Francis. For a second there, I thought your voice acting was just a bit off. So, as Francis guessed, Bluebeard has witnessed another crime scene, and the two soon make their way to it. But what happens in between is, well, it's hard to tell. See for yourself.
Well, what do you know, Herman and Herman? Do me a favor, don't tell me again how rewarding and rich life can be without balls. I'm quite ready to take your word for it. Kong, how can you associate with these miserable rattlings?
Bluebeard, you ugly old furball. I see you've been cruising the gay scene for a change. That cute little thing behind you sure is a juicy number.
I can see you're scratching for a fight. Okay, you got one. Pretty frightening. I can see you want to show off for my friend Francis. So I'd better make it clear that I won't stand by and watch 3 take on 1. So okay, come and get it, assholes.
Hey, man, I'm pissing myself with fright. And as for you, cutie pie, you can bet your sweet whiskers that you and me, just the 2 of us, got a date. And in the not-too-distant future, that you won't forget in a hurry. And so, till then, sweet thing.
Nostalgia critic?
Big-lipped alligator moment.
Big-lipped alligator moment.
Okay, so it's not technically that, I'll explain later, but it cuts it really, really close. So after that confusing encounter, we finally arrive at the scene of Deep Purple's death. And I'm only now questioning why the hell his name is Deep Purple.
If you like, I'll tell you how I see the way the final moments of Purple's life went.
Nah, maybe later.
The murderer attacked Purple outside.
Well, fuck you too, Francis.
That's obvious from the blood in the garden.
So Francis, obviously wanting to speak his mind, suggests that the killer must either be a dude bro who doesn't like competition, or a prude who hates cats having a good time. I might be paraphrasing. You know, it just occurred to me that Francis is the only one around who is this interested in the murders. Bluebeard here would rather it confirm his prejudice against humans and call it a day, and throughout the rest of the movie it seems like most of the other cats don't care. But even out of the ones that do, Francis seems to be the most unhealthily obsessed with them. Like BBC's Sherlock unhealthily obsessed. Just a thought. Anyway, after explaining his theories, Francis says he needs to speak with more of the neighborhood cats, which Bluebeard agrees to help out with. We then cut to later in the night when Francis is awoken by a shit ton of noise coming from upstairs.
You know what they say about curiosity?
What, it kills the cat? Well, it's not like it stopped you so far. Though, to be fair, snooping around is pretty justified when it's your own home, and especially when there's a damn cat cult ritual going on in your house.
What I was watching wasn't exactly a scene out of the Aristocats.
Ha! A joke for all the kids who shouldn't even be watching this movie. So, yeah, there's a cult ritual going on inside of this occupied house, and is being held by members of the Claudandus sect. Claudandus being their god martyr of sorts. Francis silently watches the sacrifices from above and sees that among other familiar faces, Bluebeard is also attending the ceremony. But he is discovered by the cult, who then proceed to give chase. The chase goes on for a while, but then Francis slips through a roof window, falling into the presence of a friendly cat named Felicity. As you can see, Felicity has had the misfortune of being born blind, which is relieving in a messed up way because I thought the eyes were just drawn horribly, which they technically are. The two make small talk and discuss the murders in the Claudandus sect for a bit.
Oh, you're blind.
I'm not blind.
Then what?
I just can't see.
Do you ever go out?
No. Though not a day of my life goes by, not one day, that I haven't wished I could see this world, evil and cruel though it is.
I'm sorry.
Why? There are much worse things, Francis. We can get used to anything. Except having to live in a dog kennel, possibly.
You know, I really like this character. She's nice and calm. Certainly one of the most human out of the characters so far. I really want to see where the movie goes with her. Are you freaking kidding me? Yes, despite the lengthy scene in which we saw her, it seems as if this conversation was only put in for exposition. What makes it all the more disappointing is that the movie could have gone on fine without this scene in this case. Well, Bluebeard apparently knows how pointless this scene was as he peeks through the window asking why Francis ran away. Francis, understandably upset, goes to talk with him elsewhere, saying goodbye to our female feline friend for what will be the last time. Bye, Felicity. Sorry your scene was so pointless. Later on, in what I can only guess is Francis' second day here, the two are munching down on your average store-bought cartoon fish, and Bluebeard explains to Francis that the Claudandus sect is perfectly harmless, debatable, and that they don't mean anything to the case. Also, we're treated to a very, very nice moment of Bluebeard stuffing his face.
I'm sorry?
Well, as humans go, your can opener's a remarkably good cook.
Ah, God, it just makes you choke just looking at it. Moving on, next scene. So, as previously promised, Bluebeard takes Francis around the neighborhood to see Pascal, who, being the pet of a scientist, has knowledge about the rest of the neighborhood cats, showing us that he can even use a computer to an extent.
Do you know the meaning of this word? Felidae? Could it be a scientific name for all our family divisions, cats as they're usually called?
That's a very specific guess, but yes, Francis. Also, how the hell can you do shit like the murderer's motives and the cause of death and somehow not wrap your head around how a computer's supposed to work? Pascal demonstrates to Francis how he uses the computer to keep data on all of the cats in the neighborhood. Hearing this, Francis gets the idea to use the compiled data to see if the current murder victims were all the same types of cat. This appears to be the case until Pascal reveals that another victim had been confirmed before he got there. The victim turns out to be none other than Felicity, our friendly blind female from earlier. Startled by this information, Francis rushes over to the same rooftop from before, looks down the window, and sees the sad Oh my God. Jesus Christ, that is way more graphic than the others. Look, you can see this blood smear, the stuff hanging out. Ugh. So, after that, we cut to a place with a tree, as we see Francis mourning Felicity's death.
I swear that whoever murdered Felicity is gonna pay for it.
You hear me, you bastard? I'm gonna make you pay!
Whoa, calm down, Francis. Man, he almost sounded angry there for a second. The two begin to leave when Francis scares a crow away and... Wait, where are you going? What's the... Where are we? Where... What? What the fuck am I seeing? Okay, stop. I'm not going to talk you through this. No, we are just going to sit back and get through this together. Proceed.
Francis! The solution to the riddle is actually very simple. It's in the word Felidae. Evolution has created an astounding number of various creatures. Not one, however, deserves the respect and wonder that Felidae has earned. Do not forget the message of Claudandus. That is the key. Hop! 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 And hop! 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 Hybrid plant experiments. Why is it that the peas in this pod are as alike as peas in a pod? Hybrid plant
You, everything all good there with you? Huh? Alright, let's go. So, after that, surreal scene, we see that Francis is somehow back at his house, and given the, unsettling dream he just had, he decides that he needs to go down to the basement for a little fun.
Great thinkers all have their little strategies to divert their racing minds. Since mine was going at full tilt, I decided to do what I always do to work off the stress. I went hunting.
I think that even full tilt is just a little bit of an understatement there, Frank. You've got some fucked up problems that need to be addressed by some, I don't know, cat doctor. Hey, you can't have cats that can deduce like detectives, cat codes, and cats that can use a fucking computer and not have cat doctors, and I'm calling bullshit on any points otherwise.
And there they were, darting about, enjoying themselves, busy, 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 waiting for that day not too far off when they'd take over the world.
JEEVES-Y, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Oh, come on, that was an obligatory response. Caught in the heat of chasing down the little rodents, Frank bumps into a VHS player, causing the tape inside to play. On the tape, we're given a look into a mad scientist's experiments to create a tissue-bonding glue, and his many, many failures.
Instead of bonding the edges of the wound together, the mixture etched its way through the skull to the brain.
Fuck it. The cat graveyard desensitized me. Not soon after, we see that a stray cat who randomly entered the lab one day has actually proven to be the first successful test subject, but only because of his unique DNA. As the tests keep failing, and the lab slowly loses funding, the doctor slowly loses his sanity, if there was any to begin with. He converses more with Claudandus and talks about breeding him to produce a super race of cats. But I guess Claudandus has some sort of an abstinence pledge because he doesn't look too keen on that idea. Frank, looking most unamused, turns off the buzz-killing video when suddenly Kong bursts in. See, not technically a big-wigged alligator moment, but it cut it really close. Frank tries explaining to Kong that he's trying to figure out who the murderer is, but then Kong reveals that he is the murderer, much to Frank's disbelief. The two have it out for a bit, but soon Frank is able to escape to the outside. Are those helicopter lights? Do cats have cops now? They fucking better. Kong and his goons proceed to chase him throughout the neighborhood for a good while, but soon after Frank is able to catch a breather. Or at least he would if there weren't a fresh body laid out right in front of him. God. Wait a minute. Are those baby kittens inside of her? I mean, they could just be various organs, and honestly, in a messed up way, I kind of hope they are, but... oh... if those are baby kittens, this fucker really needs to go down. Alright, yeah, I guess one murder alone deserves that, but still, they're baby kittens. Kong notices the dead body after a lengthy time of being right in front of it, and begins to grieve uncontrollably, proving that he probably isn't the one behind the murders.
Solitaire! Oh, Solitaire! What have they done to you? What the hell has that evil bastard done? My lovely, lovely Solitaire! What kind of heartless bastard would do this? Who? Tell me.
Everyone then turns their attention to noises coming from a nearby bush, and a feeble old cat appears from it. So, naturally, the logical response would be, oh shit.
You're gonna die!
No, Kong! Wait, maybe he...
So Kong and everyone else begins to chase him, but they quickly lose him in the storm. Kong and the goons go off to search some more, but Francis stays behind. Not long after, the old cat comes out again, and Frank begins to follow him.
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going.